I want your heart. I have said it over and over and over again that we should leave our children out of the drama. Thank you for joining. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I appreciate you for joining me on this powerful time we're going to have today. Leave your children out of the family drama. I know I want to really engage people today. If you have an opportunity to want to join me on live, I wouldn't mind to ask you, what are your experiences when you experience a particular issue in the family, and how you felt at the time. Some of us, our childhood memory is very sharp. I've seen people that remember what happened to them when they were 10, 15, 20. Sorry, 10, 15. No, I'm talking about age 6, 4. I've had people saying to me that they remember what happened to them at age 4. And that's a level of intelligence, actually. You know, some of you have the memory of the reaction, maybe the physical abuse or the verbal abuse or the emotional abuse that happens between your parents, even in a family system. Can I say this to everyone? I love the scriptures. I'm sorry if you are not faith-based. I have no apologies for those who are not faith-based, actually, because that's my faith. That's the tenet of my faith. There is no one that will be doing things like this that will not be intentional about the tenet of their faith. But the truth is, as a psychologist, we reach out to everybody. So religion has nothing to do with psychology. But because I'm not talking today as a psychologist, I'm talking as someone that has faith, and her faith is based in the scriptures. That's where I'm talking from. Now, there's this young man. Nobody would ever know in this world that there's a family drama that affected him for life. Nobody would know. The abuse, the trauma, the toxicity was so subtle. It wasn't obvious, but the impact was something else. As a matter of fact, how much of honor God gave to that man. The Bible said Jesus is the fear of Isaac. That tells you something, that this young man looks clean, poised, polished, refined, but right on the inside of him, there is serious decadence. The family drama impacted his soul in a way that you cannot even imagine. And I'm going to break it down. Whether you like it or not, if your children are involved in any of your dramatic acts, it could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be verbal, it could be psychological, just know that they are already a bomb that is brooding in your home. Now, in my profession, we don't blame people, but the gospel truth is very simple and profound. Deal with your baggages. Don't go into marriage. If you are still single and you're hearing me, don't dare to go into marriage without jettisoning, without dropping the weight, without dropping those things that are there to truncate and mess up your destiny or your life. When I say destiny and life, I'm talking about your children. Every one of us, our rest in the old age, in the future, our pride are the kids that we have. And in all fairness, your parents pass the baton, you are passing the baton. If somebody refuses to stop it, it will continue. It's like a relay race. Now, the truth is very simple. This young man was a child of the family pride because he was a child of the covenant. The father sought him out to get him. It was a serious waiting on God. Fasted, prayed, cried, compromised. And finally, the promise came. As a matter of fact, when they asked the name, the mother said, what name? In the neighborhood, everybody has been laughing at me. They will now laugh with me. So he named him Laughter, meaning that now every point of my mockery has become the point of my joy, the point of my making, the point of my celebration. What a joy to have. What you speak, I didn't understand. I will explain. Just wait, you want me to speak in French, or you want me to speak in Hebrew? Just hold on, you will understand. Now, if it's French, let me know. We can interpret when we are done in French. God has given us all that pertain to life and godliness. Now, I'm painting a picture. That's why I'm engaging you. That's why I'm not giving you the lowdown. I will get to that place. So be patient and watch and listen. So at the end of the day, this young man came to this world with so much excitement, so much celebration. The whole city rejoiced with the dad. I'm talking about Abraham and Sarah giving birth to Isaac. Now, the trauma in this family that they did not leave Isaac out of the trauma affected generation unborn. Listen to me. If you continue to not living, if you continue to put your children at the heat of the battle, they are passing down the generation, they battle to the next generation. It's not going to end with them. And that is what I want you to understand. Leave your children or leave children out of the drama. That's what we're addressing today. It's drama free. Half an hour on this place, I'm off. But I want us to maximize this half an hour in a way that everybody that has the privilege of watching or probably going to watch later, they would take all they can in this little privileged information that will be coming across to us. Now, as far as this young man was concerned, he was the son of the promise. The father wanted a compromise. And God said, no, I don't bless compromise. I'm going to bless a child that I promised you. And of course, in that home, proud to the arrival of Isaac, a son came by compromise, which is Ishmael. Now listen to me. If you are the kind of a person that you feel comfortable in compromise, you are going to give birth to Ishmael, and Ishmael will still be smelling. Ishmael is smelling, it will still smell. You can't cover what is called a compromise. So I want you to understand one thing. If you're going to stand straight, please stand straight and don't use scriptures to mask your compromise. I've seen a lot of people, by the time they are, they try to mask their compromise because with the scriptures, and listen to me, I'm living in a generation that everybody has the Bible to back up their actions and reactions. Well, we are not permitted to judge anything before time. When the owner comes, he will judge his church and himself by himself. Now, coming back to the issue of the drama in the family. Before we knew what was going on, Isaac came, and the mother of Ishmael, Hagar, started reacting. There was a lot of reactions in the home. No, I'm the firstborn, I'm the heir. The mother of Isaac will look at a guy like this and Ishmael and say, you are the what? A lot of drama going on. And most of the time they have this conflict of who is the heir, who is the rival, who is the real child, who is the bastard, story. No, my son is the best. Your son is the best. They went on and on and on. And of course, the drama was very dramatic in that family system. And finally, the wife just came to the husband. Sarah came to Abraham and said, sir, husband, this girl had to leave, and the daughter and the son. What? That thing was not well with Abraham. It's in the scriptures. No time to quote scriptures. He just said, no. This is what we are talking about. It can't happen. This is my son. I had him before I had Isaac. God said, well, I actually went to God and said, God, see what is going on. This drama in my family, I can't handle it. It's becoming overwhelming. It's becoming difficult to handle. What do I do? And God told him, let Hagar go with his son. Oh. But the fight, the friction, the crisis in that home has marked Isaac emotionally. When you expose your children to drama in the family, they are marked, they are scarred, they have scar, they are tattooed. Let me use the common word. There's something that is written in their soul, whether you are conscious of it or not. And listen to me, they get attracted to a man or a woman that is also dysfunctional. This is what I see every day in the scriptures. Leave your children out of this drama. They didn't push you to say, they didn't force you to bring them to the world. They did not cry, mommy, I want to come. You brought them into this world by yourself. You have to be intentional in dealing with them, because the moment the drama is involved, they are scarred. You notice some things in those kids. Now, for Isaac, nobody knew. You know, sometimes when we are dealing with emotional scars, they are not visible. You can't touch it. Emotions are tangible, but it cannot be x-rayed. Emotions are tangible, but it cannot be x-rayed. Please, somebody help me to put it there. Emotions are tangible, but it cannot be x-rayed. It's so sad. Nobody would have thought of it in life that anything happened to Isaac in that home. But don't forget, the Bible says that Sarah and Ishmael and Hagar and Isaac, they were having issues. Probably they will go out, they will fight. You know the drama, and I will fight, they will scar each other, they will fight, they will have marks on their bodies. You know, because of space crisis, some things were quiet in the scriptures. But in the place of meditation, you will see that certain things took place in that home that really, really scarred Isaac, and nobody knew. Listen, when you are scarred, when anything happens to you, thank you, Ivan, Global Export, thank you for watching. You know, when somebody is scarred, you will not see the effect immediately. It is when choices are being made. It is when you begin to see certain pattern or things happening in your life. That is when you will know that something is wrong with me. And you know, when people do the screening test that we do now, by the grace of God, now I don't treat anybody without a test. I cannot be gambling with your emotions. A good doctor will not treat you without knowing what is wrong. So if you are struggling here, just understand one thing. The screening test will show you and describe the exact point where you needed to be treated. That is just on a side. Now, Abraham thought, okay, you go. Ishmael, go. Isaac, stay at home. Mommy Sarah, you are mine, whatever. And he has assumed that everything was on point. Do you know, because Isaac was dysfunctional, he actually gravitated to a woman who is also dysfunctional. Rebecca, married as a virgin, clean girl, but still very dysfunctional. I will explain why. Where, of course, what you don't understand is when there's a level of dysfunctionality, the pattern of your dysfunctionality travels with you to the future. It does not show now. It is not an immediate thing that you will see. Nobody sees it now. When a child is traumatized, is abused, is mentally, emotionally, psychologically traumatized, you don't see it immediately, but it begins to show up in the way they display their lives to life. That is where the challenge is. I'm choosing my words, I'm very intentional, and I'm making some points. Now, for Isaac, oh my God, goodness, he has a fear of God. That's why the Bible calls him the fear of Isaac. But the truth is, it was marriage that exposes the impact of the drama in the family system. It is marriage that exposed Isaac and Rebecca. Let me quickly rush into Rebecca's dysfunctionality. What happened was very simple. I was shocked when in that same home, Rebecca had 2 parties in her home. You gave birth to 2 boys. They are your children. They slept in your womb. There's no need for any favoritism. But you know, when you are dysfunctional, how did Rebecca got dysfunctional? In that home, there were 2 parties. Not only that, you kept your virginity. You were so dynamic, so intentional. You have responsibility on your shoulders. You are so dynamic that you fed 13 camels. Resourceful woman. This is a high level of entrepreneurship. Solid. And guess what? She wants to get married that same day. How? when somebody proposed to you, you want to leave your family house immediately. Why? If home was sweet and blissful and there's no drama, definitely she will say, oh daddy. The day of our wedding, most women, I've seen women when they are getting married, their daddy cries. But for the daddy of Rebecca, it was her uncle that gave her out in marriage. That was a height of father's wound, rejection, being abandoned. That alone is enough to, of course, that alone messes up. I didn't say it's enough. Messes up the emotional life of a child. Leave these children out of the drama. This is important. And of course, in her home, she preferred one, the husband preferred one, two of them. How on earth do you want to bless your boys? And you cannot discuss with your wife that, my dear, I want to release a covenant blessing on our first child. Communication was an issue because Isaac was coming from a background, a place where he has been traumatized. He has seen fight, so he doesn't want fight. And he has observed in that house. Let me be a little bit practical here. Do you know the day Esau came home and he wanted to eat pottage? And his brother said, no, you can't eat pottage. If you want to eat pottage, give me your birthright. I'm sure you know that day there'll be a fight in that house. So Isaac was tired of fight because he has seen a lot of fight and conflict where he was coming from. So he's just keeping quiet, manage things, don't want to fight, no confrontation. But that was killing. Before he knew it, he gave the blessings to the brother. And guess what? The brother said, today, their mother will bury somebody. Ah, God. And as soon as that happened, of course, Esau and Jacob, you know the story. Why was I bringing this? There was no way anybody could have thought that Isaac was dysfunctional in any way until their past traveled to them, to their future. Can I say this to everyone that is hearing me now? Anytime there is a fight in a home, the brain of your children does not have enough energy to process the pain. So when you start seeing things, recently, of course, we don't mention name. Our job is to keep confidentiality. But this story struck me. Yesterday, when the mother was telling me the story, I was crying. I mean, I'm not emotional, don't get me wrong. So when I say I'm crying, I know what it is. It touched the core of my soul. You know what? This baby girl, pretty girl, there were 3 in the home. I'm laying a foundation. It's just 30 minutes. When I'm done, I'm done. But the truth is, I need to let you understand the impact of trauma if you don't leave your children out of this drama. Any form of drama. It could be the death of a father, it could be loss of job, it could be anything that bring a distress to the countenances of your children can traumatize them for life. Leave them out of the drama. Go and grow, deal with your emotions, handle yourself. And if it has happened, get into therapy and heal for your children to heal. And that's the truth. Let me shock you. Do you know that this girl's dad, she's daddy's girl. They go to school together. The father will drop this young man from the car when they get to school, park, and walk her daughter to the classroom. The mother was telling me. And when the man was 6, when the girl was 6, the father died. And nobody explained death to the dad. Pardon me, I'm getting really, really deep into that conversation because she's a new client, so her story is still strong in my heart. Let me put it the way it is now. The father loved this girl so much that they were close, very close, and the father died. There was no explanation. Everybody assumed that when there is a trauma, when there is a crisis, explain to your kids. I don't have problems in challenges at home, drama happening at home. I wish Abraham could have sat Isaac down and said, Isaac, come. What happened is not normal. I actually compromised having to marry Ishmael's mom because God promised me you. But the truth is, whatever has happened in the family, it is not supposed to be. And you know what? I apologize for allowing you to experience this, for allowing you to go through this. Now, can you imagine if a father had that kind of conversation with the child? That settles it. The child goes into the world, expect challenges, and know that whatever happens, there's healing, there's restoration, there's communication. Nobody is going to hurt anybody or take anybody anywhere for the challenge that came. But the truth is, there was no communication, no talking. And you know, Isaac passed it down to his family. They were not communicating. One of the things that is common with a dysfunctional home is don't talk, don't feel, and don't talk. Don't talk, don't feel, don't trust. Trust. Don't trust, don't talk, and don't feel. Trust died, feelings died. Of course, you must keep it. It's covered. It's family secret. So there was no communication after the episode of you guys mom, just go, Ishmael, you go and with your mom. Now, have you forgotten the way children relate? Though it looks as if they were fighting, but I'm sure Isaac would have missed Ishmael, and nobody is communicating anything. Communication is important for anything to thrive in life, especially in a home. And that was what he passed down to his own family. Imagine if he had dealt with it at the time, he won't pass the baton to his family. And look at the family of Esau and Jacob. That's a story for another day. Please leave your children out of this drama. Going back to the story of this lady. There was no communication about the dad's death. The mother did, of course, the mother too is grieving. Hey, I said something to a man of God. Let me quickly say it. Maybe I will exceed 30 minutes a little. Guess what? I was having therapy with someone lately, and I said, Africa, we have done ourselves evil. I've seen men who are white. They will fail Thomas Edison. They will fail 110 times. And they will come back and say, well, I've known 101 ways that I can do it better. Because at every point of failure, they go to therapy. At every point of failure, they go to therapy. At every point of disappointment, they have a venting place. They have professionals that help them to walk through the pain and let them see in the light of truth and see in another perspective. But in Africa, nobody. Africa, that's why we cannot invent plane. We cannot invent telephone. We cannot invent anything. Because when pain comes, we sit permanently in our pain. Nobody is processing anything. Who is your therapist? Your therapist is your dumping ground. Your therapist is someone you open up to. Your therapist is someone you are vulnerable with. Your therapist is someone that you will process everything, and it will help you to heal one by one, line upon line, precept upon precept, in phases, like peeling an onion. Your therapist helps you to heal. There was nothing. Going back to this girl's story. After the daddy is dead, is gone, he resumed school. Of course, the mother said one day, she dropped her daughter in school with pain. She has her pain. She's not dealing with her trauma. And the girl started crying. Mommy, take me to class. Mommy, take me to class. Daddy used to take me to class. I was told that she wept and wept. Listen, if this is the story I will use to close today, it's okay by me. That day when she was telling me, I was shaking on the phone. I said, oh my God, I wish you had known me. I wish you had listened to me. I wish you understand me. I wish you were just there to hear me. Oh God, it was so painful. And guess what happened? Very sad story. She said one day, it was raining heavily outside, and the daughter said, because they have done the burial, so they laid the husband in front of the house, and she called and said, Mom, Daddy is outside, rain is going to be beating Daddy. I said, yeah. He said, Dad, Mom, can you bring Daddy inside? Rain is going to be beating Daddy. I said, yeah. It did not resonate. it does not make sense. It's not sure for the girl that the daddy is actually dead because there was no information that the daddy is late. Today, the girl has to say it in therapy. I won't give you the details because there's no communication. There's no healing of the trauma. Nobody handles the pain for the child. And letting the child knows what is death, how do we die, why must we die, what killed my dad, is it God that killed my dad, what is the problem. Isaac was not informed, married a dysfunctional person because he was not informed, passed the baton to his children, and look at all the children. One person just said no, and that is Joseph. Joseph said, no, I'm not going to continue this. No. This cannot continue. And that was a turning point. That was the person, and listen to me, the father, the man, Joseph, that said, we are stopping the flow. He was in therapy for 2 years. Because when he was in the prison, he interpreted the dream of the baker and the butler. And for 2 solid years, the butler did not remember. Because you have to be healed. It is the healed that becomes a master in mending. If you are not healed of your wound, of your trauma, unconsciously or consciously, you pass the baton. The brain of your children are not developed enough to manage the crisis that comes when there's drama in a home. That drama could be anything that ruffles your heart, anything that makes your heart uncomfortable, anything that brings unrest to your soul has to be discussed. Leave these children, and if they're involved, please do therapy for your children, because when the reports and the result of the trauma you have exposed them to, of the drama that you have exposed them to, when the result begins to show, you might not be able to handle it. I want to say thank you for listening to me. I could still make the half an hour. I wanted it short so that you can share. The best thing you can do for me is to share this. I have a lot in my heart, but I just felt people need to listen and listen again and again so that their heart would connect to whatever we're doing and what I'm saying. Please leave your children out of the drama. Your children are not stubborn. They are not stressed. Some of them are not rebellious. They are just reacting to what they are hearing, what is happening, and what they are seeing. So all those children, they just stuck into survival mode. Thank you so much. Or do you have is there anyone who wants to share their trauma experience with me? You can actually raise up your hand. I can always have that one person to come up, whether on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, or on YouTube. If you want to share your trauma experience with me, you can actually send me a DM. We can have another session, because this leaving your children out of the drama, this drama free, this children thing that we're talking about, your kids are your future and your kids are your fault. And some parents don't know. The mother said, I didn't know. Even me, I was grieving, I was struggling to survive. Ignorance is not an excuse. For the fact that you don't believe in the law of gravity does not mean that the law of gravity does not exist. The fact is, whatever happens to you affects you and affects your generation. You can send me a WhatsApp, yes, that you want to share your trauma challenges or your childhood trauma. You just want to let somebody else understand that these things are real and you felt like sharing it. If you don't want me to show your face, I can turn the back of the camera. We just want to learn from your experience. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. I'll see you next week for Drama Free. Please do everything to leave your children, protect their soul. How do I mean? I will explain how to protect the souls of your children in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.